Now, I did just say that Roethlisberger, I believe, is most likely a future Hall of Famer. All right? But the big question surrounding this year's Super Bowl is Kurt Warner and whether or not this guy is a future Hall of Famer. And I've been wanting to weigh in on this and wanting to talk about it, so I'll do that now. Because, listen, I don't have anything against Kurt Warner. I did when he was on the Rams because I had something against that whole Rams team. Because I'm right here in the Midwest. You know, I'm Springfield, Illinois. I'm an hour and a half away from St. Louis, driving the speed limit. So I'm about an hour away from St. Louis, hour and 15 minutes for most people. And, you know, around here, it was astonishing how the Rams got to town and no one around here abandoned their teams. Whoever they liked before, they still liked. Bears fans were still Bears fans. Packers fans were still Packers fans. You know, Broncos, Raiders, whatever. It was kind of, it was majority Bears around here, around central Illinois. But it kind of varied, you know. You had some different things. That's why there's still some Steelers fans in town. There's some Cowboys fans in town. Me personally, I'm a Niners guy. I grew up a Niners fan. And this is what happened, and this is why I kind of had why I didn't really like Kurt in his early seasons in the NFL, and it was more about the people around here, because everyone still stuck with their old teams when the Rams first got to town, and the Rams were awful, and Tony Banks was their QB, and Jerome Bettis was their running back, and Eddie Kinnison was their wide receiver, and they were just brutal. All right, getting worked week in and week out. Nobody cared. Nobody paid attention. Nobody showed up. Nobody watched. Nothing. But then all of a sudden, you know, Vermeil's in town, and Trent Green goes down, and Kurt Warner steps in, and it's the greatest show on turf. All of a sudden, everywhere you look is that god-awful, hideous yellow and blue that they used to wear. Oh, everybody's a giant Rams fan then. A giant Rams fan. And I was just like, you know, so what happened to the teams that you used to like? What happened to your old favorite team? I understand now, today, if there's a 16-year-old kid that is basically a lifelong diehard Rams fan, I understand that. But like 40 and 50-year-old guys, here's my brother Chris and I went to the Rams and Niners game this year. All right, just this past season. We went to St. Louis. We went and caught the game. And we wore our Niners jerseys. Yeah, I think I had a Montana jersey on. He had a Rice jersey. All right, no, these guys are legends, right? We go there, and St. Louis, you know, I'm a Cardinals fan when it comes to baseball, so I'm used to fitting in quite well in St. Louis and everyone being friendly and cool. And, boy, show up in town, though, in a Niners jersey when they're playing the Rams. Wow. Man, I was getting some hate. I never felt, I was disappointed. Because I've always bragged on St. Louis, saying, oh, these are the greatest fans in all of sports. I mean, they're friendly, considerate. We were taking some guff. When we were getting called names, we had some guy in the next section over just yelling at us. Get on your plane back to San Francisco. This is the Midwest. Like, dude, I'm from Springfield. And this is like a 50-year-old guy just laying into me. So finally, I said, listen, man. And by the way, the Niners won that game. And that guy skirted out before we could say anything else. But, you know, I had to tell him, listen, man, I've been a Niners fan since '82. How long have you liked the Rams? Since '99? Since you were 40? I mean, who did you like before then? You bandwagon? And so I had like a grudge against those old Rams because I was mad at everyone for liking them so much when they didn't care about them before. So I kind of rooted for Warner, for Warner to lose in his early days. All right, but now I don't have. You know, I like the story. I like the fact that he was kind of undiscovered. He was an NFL Europe guy, something like that, bag boy, backup. You know, if Trent Green doesn't go down, we still don't know who Kurt Warner is, most likely. It's a good story. And now the fact that we're even talking about considering this guy for the Hall of Fame, it's intriguing, right? It's a good story. I like it. So I can pull for Kurt in this game. If he wins, then he wins, and that's great. But is he a Hall of Famer? Pardon me. Now, let's take a good look at this because Hall of Famer is the cream of the crop, right? This is the most elite players that have ever played the game. We're talking, Unitas, Montana, Elway, Favre will be there, Marina. The best of the best are in the Hall of Fame as quarterbacks. The absolute best. Kurt Warner, if he wins this game, still, to me, I don't put him in. I don't put him in. Even if he wins this game, that's what? 3 good seasons? 3 good seasons? Look at what he did. It came in his first year, won the Super Bowl? He was like a 30-year-old rookie, but he came in, and a virtual unknown. Nobody knew who this guy was. He comes in, steps in, runs the greatest show on turf, right into the Super Bowl, goes home with a ring. Impressive, all right? The next season, takes that same team all the way back to the Super Bowl, only to be upset by Tom Brady's Patriots. All right, but still, a Super Bowl run, all right, that's admirable. You can chalk that up on your Hall of Fame resume for sure. But then what happened? All right, and then he got a few injuries, and he couldn't hold on to the ball. Does anybody remember that? Lost his job to Mark Bulger. Lost his job to Mark Bulger. All right, now think about that. Will Joe Montana lose his job to Mark Bulger? Will John Elway lose his job to Mark Bulger? We're talking Hall of Fame guys here. Are any of these guys going to be riding pine watching Mark Bulger throw passes? I don't think so. I don't think so. I know he was hurt, so it's kind of unfair, but, you got to bounce back. Look at Tom Brady. All right, missed the whole season, a devastating injury. What's going to happen next season? Tom Brady's going to be the starter. All right, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Even though Matt Castle came in and led the Patriots to an 11-5 record, just a terrific year, exceeding everyone's expectations by at least double. Still not good enough to take Tom Brady's job because Tom Brady is a Hall of Famer. All right, so Kurt Warner, to me, not. This is only his 3rd good year. Then what did he do? He went to New York, and he couldn't beat out Eli Manning for the starting QB job. Eli Manning, I know today Eli Manning is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he seems to be one of the best QBs in the league. But then he wasn't. All right, then he was bad. He was mistake and turnover prone, and Kurt Warner still couldn't get that job. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you think Tom Brady could have taken that job? Don't you? Don't you? Maybe, who else is there? Give me another Hall of Fame guy. You think John Unitas? All these. You see what I'm saying? Kurt Warner has been a starter backup. Not even good enough to make it initially. If we're talking Hall of Fame, not yet. What Kurt Warner is going to have to do to convince me, and I don't get a vote, but I can talk, what he's going to have to do to convince me is come back next season, lead that same team deep into the playoffs again, but maybe this time finish with a little better record during their regular season so you don't get a playoff bid by default. And I don't know, man, maybe another season after that, because even if he goes to the playoffs next year, that's 4 good years on your resume. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 4 years. I know we got a late start, but come on, man. That's not our fault, right? If he couldn't play his way onto a field, and I know there's a lot of good undiscovered talent out there, but look at Hall of Fame guys. Pretty much all came into the NFL. You know what I mean? And they didn't go dancing around Europe. They didn't bag groceries. They played football.